What's up, everyone? It's B the Installer. Black Friday is here. We have TV deals. We have other deals to talk about. I'm going to give you 10 different deals that you should be looking forward to on Black Friday, Cyber Week, etc. We're going to start with more reasonably priced TVs before I get into the very best of the season. And then I'm going to talk about one that is my absolute best buy of the year, which is a huge TV. So stick around to the end for that. So all these deals can be found if you go to bestbuy.com and click on the TV and projectors on the Black Friday deals here. And the first ones that I want to talk about are TCL QLEDs. Now the TCL 6 Series Mini LED QLED is a fantastic QLED year to year. And right now they actually have the 65-inch version for the same price as the 55-inch version. So $599 for the 55-inch. Well, you can also get the 65-inch for $599 as well. And that price on the TCL is amazing because if you're looking for a comparable TV from Sony or Samsung or other ones, sometimes they're costing about $1,500 to $2,000 for something comparable to this $599 mini LED. Very bright, powerful. You know, when you're watching sports and news and things like that, you may not need a $600 or even a $1,000 TV, but when you're watching HDR movies or when you're gaming, that's when you're going to notice something like this TCL, which outperforms all of the similarly priced TVs from Samsung, Sony, LG in the same price range. So some people aren't as comfortable with TCL. They don't know it as much. Same with Hisense. But if you want the best deals, sometimes you need to look to something like a TCL or a Hisense. And speaking of the Hisense, there's another TV that I just got in the house in the 85-inch version, but unfortunately they don't have them on the website. They do have the 75-inch U7H here for $949. And whether you're talking about the 75 or the 65 or even the 55, they're all good price points. Very similar to the TCL in quality and price points. Both of them are very solid LED TVs with local dimming zones and very good contrast. Now, this one is not a mini LED. If you wanted the mini LED from Hisense, you're talking about the U8H. And we actually had this in for review as well. Very solid. One of the best LED TVs you're going to find. First year for Hisense and mini LED, but I'm very impressed with regards to how good it looks, how bright the TV is, but yet how good it looks in the dark as well, because you wouldn't think a very bright LED would also look good in a dark room, but that Hisense here for a 65-inch at $899, very, very good TV. Again, similar to the $1,500 Samsung or Sony or LG in this range. So very happy to recommend Hisense and TCL for TVs that are more affordable. Now, if we just want to get into what TVs are the absolute best, one of them that I recommended in the last video and this one as well is the Samsung OLED. It's a QD OLED, the S95B. Now at 65-inch, it's still $1,799, but you have to remember when this came out, it was $3,000. So it's nearly half the price that they originally listed it. And some people just still can't believe that it's priced so low because of how good this TV is and how good QD OLED is in general. So what do you get with the QD OLED? You get remarkable highlights. You get perfect infinite black levels, so you can have a really bright image next to something that's really dark, and in a bright or a dark room, it just looks amazing. It has fantastic gaming chops. You're able to game 4K at 120 on 4 different HDMI ports, and if you watch any HDR movies or shows, there's really nothing that can compete with an OLED TV, and this Samsung QD OLED, the S95B, one of the best TVs around. Now, if you're not into the OLEDs, but you're still into Samsung, I do keep an eye out for these Samsung QLED deals. And the Samsung Q90B is still a fantastic deal because there's a few different models, but this is typically their best LED TV in the 4K. And if you look at the price points, 65-inch is $1,599, so it's actually even $200 less than that QD OLED, although I think I would prefer the QD OLED. Now, the price point difference, you know, that's up to you to check it out. But if you look down here at the 85-inch Samsung QN90B, this TV was around $5,000 when it came out. 85-inch TV for $27.99, that's really difficult to beat because when I had the 85-inch in the house, it was probably my favorite 85-inch TV that I've had here ever. So I was really impressed with it. It was just amazingly bright. We were gaming on it and the kids and their friends were all like, wow, I want that one. The big Samsung QN90B that was super bright and vibrant, and it still looks really good in a dark room. It looked very OLED-like. People that watched it couldn't tell the difference in a dark room of which one was an OLED and which one was a QLED. But then again, when you get back to that bright room, the Samsung Neo QLEDs are so bright and they handle reflections really well. This is one of the top of the line TVs in 4K, and for $27.99, very difficult to beat. So if you're looking for that, giant living room TV, this is one of those that I definitely consider at that price. Now, because I wanted to give all the different brands a little bit of love here, I wanted to point out the LG OLED, the C2 and the 48-inch, because I actually have the C1 last year, and I didn't really realize how big 48-inch is if you're in a smaller room or an office. We use it for one of the monitors in here. But this LG C2, which is an amazing TV, fantastic HDR, great for gaming, is only $1049 for a 48-inch. And so it's still expensive to a degree, but a lot of computer monitors are that much. A lot of TVs that aren't as good are close to that price. And so to get one of the best OLED TVs possible for $1,000, I just thought I'd point that out. If you're looking for a bit of a smaller TV, it's very good. And even if you go into the 55-inch, you're talking about $1299 for this LG 55-inch, the C2. And if you go all the way up to 65-inch, you're talking about $1699, which is $100 less than the S95B QD OLED. But with the LG OLED here, you have a very long line of quality OLED TVs, so you know you're going to get top quality. And I've never shied away from people getting the LG C-Series OLEDs, and this C2 is fantastic. It's brighter than my A90J. I did a comparison with the 83-inch versions of both of these TVs, and it's definitely a big time winner. So, check this TV out if you're an OLED fan. Unfortunately, right now, the 77-inch says it's out of stock when I look at it, but if you can get that 77-inch for $24.99, that's an absolute steal, because this is one of my favorite deals, along with the Sony A80K, which is $26.99, but also a great deal. But if you're going to look for 77-inch OLEDs, you're typically going to choose between one of those two TVs. So let me talk about this 77-inch A80K. I really like this TV. I had it in the house. I compared it to my 65-inch A90J OLED, which is the Master Series OLED, and I came to the conclusion that I would definitely take the 77-inch A80K over my 65-inch A90J. Even though the A90J is a little bit better of a TV, this TV being 12 inches larger and giving you that more immersive experience was better in my opinion. So if you have the room to get a 77-inch, I would go for that versus the 65-inch that might be slightly better. I mean, you're still getting two OLEDs that are fantastic. Yes, the A90J has a little bit brighter of a screen, and it has a little bit better speakers that come out of the screen like this A80K, but the size difference is really key. And if you have the room, it's going to give you a better viewing experience throughout your house. And I just think that this TV is fantastic. And again, also the LG C2, if you can get it for $200 less than the A80K, it might even be better. But right now I can't see it on here, so you'd have to go 65, 55, or 48-inch for the LG C2. And while we're on LG, I did want to talk about the LG CineBeam Ultra Short Throw Laser TV Projectors. Now we have two different models. I actually got both of these in the house, and you can see the 715Q behind me right now displaying. I think it's a pretty awesome product. It's a lot brighter than I thought it would be, to be honest, and it looks very cool. It's something that you could definitely have out in a nice living room because of the nice design. It's not just like a black box. It's actually got a nice cloth finish to the front side. It's a white projector, and with it being a 2500 lumen display on up to a 120-inch screen, it makes you think for the price point that if you're going to buy a TV that's say like 85 inches in this price range, but you can get an ultra short throw projector from LG up to 120 inch, and you have large walls in your living room, or you have a very big seating area, you might need to consider something like this because it can get so large. And if you want to go with the big dog, then this is the one that I'm really excited to get in here and actually review in my living room, because the HU915QE projector actually is 3700 lumens, and it's a 3-channel laser that's 30% brighter than its predecessor. So now you're talking about something that really can compete with some of these other LED TVs and OLED TVs while being able to project on a 120-inch screen for under $5,000. So yes, again, it's not necessarily inexpensive, but if you're talking about the price point relative to some of these other TVs that are, smaller but way more expensive, you have to consider one of these LG CineBeam Ultra Short Throw projectors. And I'm very excited to do a full review, so check that out and check out the price points on Best Buy, because this one right here is $5,000, which is $1,000 off from its original $6,000 price point. And the 715Q is $2,500, which is $500 off its $3,000 price point. So very exciting that they're discounted to this degree. And like all these products, check for the links in the description below. And since we're talking about gigantic screens and projections and all that, I definitely have to mention my favorite deal for Black Friday, and that is an enormous TV, which is the 98-inch XL Collection QLED TV from TCL. Now, originally when this TV came out, it was $8,500, and now it's just dropped to $5,000, which makes it a lot more affordable for a lot of people. And I'm actually quite impressed with the quality of the TV for the $8,000. So now that it's $5,000, I think this is kind of a steal. The picture quality is a lot better than you'd expect. It's brighter than you expect. It performs better in the dark than you'd think. And I'm very impressed, especially when you think about the alternatives, which are a $15,000 Sony or a $15,000 Samsung or a $25,000 LG at this 98-inch size. I have a comparison video coming out with this 98-inch TCL and the 97-inch LG G2, which is 5 times the price. It'll be linked here when it's finished, and I don't want to give everything away in that video, but I would say I'm recommending this TV for a reason. So $5,000 for a 98-inch QLED, pretty amazing. Just make sure you have a huge stand to put it on, or you have a gigantic wall mount, because it is a heavy TV. It's big, of course, but for $5,000, I guess you'll figure it out. And I wanted to give you guys a couple accessory deals because these are things that I've actually had and used, and I love them. And the first is the Sony WH-1000XM4 headphones. These headphones were normally $350. Now there are a new pair called the XM5s, which are also fantastic, but these XM4s are my favorite. For the price point, they're $228 now. They used to be $350, and I think at $350 they were a great price. But these are a must-have for anyone that wants to watch TV at night when their spouse is sleeping, like myself, or if you go on trips often and you want to have noise-canceling headphones. These are fantastic. They have industry-leading noise cancellation, and I think these are at a perfect price point because yes, you can buy the XM5s, which are $350 now on sale, but I'd prefer these for $228. You can't beat this price, but that's something you have to decide between the XM4 and XM5s, but check these out in the description below. And then last but not least, my best recommendation for a soundbar in 2022 is still the Sonos Arc. It is on sale for $719. Normally it's $899. So you'll notice it's still not super inexpensive by any means, but it is a fantastic performer. It works with all different sorts of TVs. You don't have to worry about having like a Samsung soundbar with a Samsung TV or a Sony with a Sony. This Sonos Arc works with anything, and it also can work with your entire whole home system. So if you have Sonos products in other rooms, fantastic. You can pair it up with the Sonos Sub Gen 3. You can pair it up with a couple of the SL wireless speakers to have surrounds. If you end up buying the Sonos Arc and it kind of maxes out your budget, you can also get the new Sonos Sub Mini 6-inch, which I think is pretty powerful and adds a lot to your room for half the price of the Sonos Sub Gen 3. So I would highly recommend this as well to pair with the Sonos Arc, or even the Sonos Beam Gen 2, which is another great Sonos product. And I've had both the Sonos Beam, the Sonos Arc with the Sub Mini in my bedroom, and I was like blown away by how good both of them sounds. And I think you'd be okay with the Sonos Beam Gen 2 and that Sonos Mini for around $800. Can't be beat. So both of those Sonos products are fantastic. And the last thing that I want to tell you about is to make sure that you get the Best Buy Total Tech membership. I have it. It's a no-brainer. You get all kinds of benefits. First, you get free Geek Squad tech support 24/7, which is nice. You also get free 2-day shipping with deliveries. But then there's a couple of benefits that are absolutely fantastic. One is the extended 60-day return period. So if you buy things at Best Buy, you probably know you normally get like 14 days. But if you have the Best Buy Total Tech membership, now you get 60 days return and exchange window on most things. And that helps because if you're going to buy something, sometimes 14 days is not enough time to determine if you really like something or not. But 60 days has always been enough for me. And then last but not least, you get up to 24 months of protection with an active membership. There's so many stories about things that you get, and then 13 months later, outside of the manufacturer's warranty, something happens and you're not protected any longer. This gives you full 2 years on most products. Fantastic deal for only $200 a month. Definitely check that out in the link below, and check all the products in the link below. If you're going to buy something, please click on the links below. We appreciate it for the channel, supports us, and allows us to get more TVs and show you all about them next year. So make sure to smash the like button on the way out, subscribe to the channel, and set the notification bell to all. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions about any of these TVs. I'm happy to help you with your purchasing decisions, and I'm sure other people will help recommend the products that they think are the best as well. So make sure to comment below, and thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.